3 points in a close one against the BC Lions in Vancouver. Now on the road they go after that home win against the Riders last week against the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Yeah, again, Trey Ford coming on to start the third quarter last week after an injury to Harrison Frost. And it was, quite frankly, I think Trey Ford doing exactly what you would want him to do, using his legs to extend some plays, but making good decisions with the football. You never felt like there were any forced plays from Trey Ford or high-risk plays in that ballgame.
He sets his feet here and goes vertical, but is it in behind? No! On the money! And it's caught by Carrick Wheatfall. What a great place to start. Same receiver it felt like he finished with last week, as Wheatfall becoming an ever-present target for Trey Ford. That one goes for 53, Dwayne.
Yeah, and a much-needed spark for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Here they get the tight end in the ball game. But Wheatfall just attacking the middle of the field.
Doesn't look like it because you're standing in the pocket, there's no pressure, but that ball is heavy right now. What a throw by Trey Ford. He'll pull it off the run. Max Mang, the big German tight end H-back, makes the grab sitting over the middle. Inside the final 30 seconds remaining in this first quarter, and the offense for the Tiger Cats start to roll.
Yeah, you're going to see Max Mang from his tight end spot. Settling down in front of the linebackers, giving Trey Ford an outlet off that run look. Nice job by Ford adjusting that arm angle to deliver that ball under the arms of the on-rushing Jonathan Congo.
Make anybody else's elbow feel like it's tearing just watching? In slow motion, what a throw. Again is now to the ground game they go, and Hamilton shows some life to close out the first quarter. Larry Roundtree the third. Touchdown Tiger Cats. Trey Ford, the athleticism, we know, we understand the consistency of work in progress at this point. Despite the delay, finding a bit of a rhythm on the last drive. We'll see if he can continue it here in Toronto when we return.
Four receivers to the right. Ford running out of time again. He's on the run. Nowhere to go, but he still gets rid of it into the end zone. Touchdown!
It's showtime. Let's just say this play did not end the way I thought it was going to, but I forgot we were talking about Trey Ford, the great escape artist.
Unbelievable play from Trey Ford. And who did he?
Trey Ford start to feed off each other in terms of creating space to do their thing.
Done so early on as Ford takes a big hit here, but finds the open receiver down the left sideline. Keandre Smith, who had a barn burner of a start to the season, has cooled off as he began with 25 catches in the first 5 games and 3 touchdowns, but since just 12 catches and no touchdowns.
Trey Ford taking a hit there from Bubba Bolden as he floats that one up. Safety coming down Main Street.
Here on a graphic with Russ Jackson. He ain't doing that back.
Ain't that the truth? Trey Ford, this was the victory over the Toronto Argonauts in Week 7. Trey Ford running for over 100, passing for over 200. I don't know if that's maybe the perfect balance. Trey Ford ballgame.
Yeah, Cody Fajardo's talked about that. His favorite way to win a game might not be throwing for 500 yards. Times it's a little bit less, but his own formula. I think Trey has his as well as a flag comes up here and they complete to Carrick Wheatfall. I will say if Trey could have Russ's numbers with Russ's face mask, that much more impressive.
Offside. Toronto number 99 will go up 5 yards. We'll repeat second down.
I don't think the player safety committee allow Russ's face mask.
We can't homologate Russ's face mask anymore. I can't get that signed up for by everybody, but at different times, certainly, I think that graphic illustrates it, but amazing to have some relationship numerically with one of the all-time greats as Ford continues to find his way, given the opportunity to start with Levi Mitchell out with injuries since the game against Winnipeg over a month ago now as Ford steps up, uses the legs. 2 Argonauts close to him. wisely, not taking a penalty for a high shot on number 5. Isaac D'Arcangelo will get credited for the tackle.
Argos bringing the blitz on this one. Way forward with the recognition. Not a whole lot of friction down there on that soggy field tonight.
Kenny Lawler again, saw the touchdown from him in Montreal 3-4 weeks ago, but hard to get him involved. And when Mo Levi Mitchell was healthy, so much action for Lawler at that wide receiver spot. They work him in now on Toronto's side of the field. Ford underneath, complete. Myron Mitchell makes the grab, tries to make the first man miss, does, runs around the corner, and brought down. It's a Darius Pickett making the play. Built the stat sheet against Edmonton. 7 tackles, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and 2 tackles for loss last week.
The productive defender is Pickett, but here it's Myron Mitchell. Doing well to get around the corner and move those sticks again for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Been sort of the number 5 option in the passing game, but certainly contributing. Over 20 catches on the season. Top 4 in their receiving unit. All pretty close, all around 30, 35 catches on the year so far.
Roundtree, the running back, in motion here as snap comes up. Looks like an alignment issue for the Tiger Cats. Jonathan Combo giving chase, and Trey Ford uses his legs. Now he runs right past the flag and likely realizes that that play was going to be negated. It looks like Ford got caught. Maybe by the attempted tackle heading to the sideline of Cameron Judge. Ronnie Augustine in the backfield with Trey Ford. A Griffin with a Warrior. And it'll be the Waterloo alum dancing away from 2, now 3 players. Turns on the Jets and slides his way into the Hamilton bench.
This is the kind of play that the Toronto Argonauts were looking to avoid after Trey Ford torched him for 109 on the ground a few weeks back.
Johnson couldn't track him down. There is nobody quicker when they square their hips to the line, look to throw, and then decide to get out of it. And Trey Ford, wild escapability, given the opportunity. Now he looks to throw over the top and dropping it in. Did he get a foot down? DeAndre Smith looks like he did. Bubba Bolden there in coverage from free safety. A gain of 24.
Ford hanging in the pocket. Lets it go. A nice separation there for DeAndre Smith along the sideline. Feet down before his momentum carries him out of bounds.
I asked if he got 1 in. I think if he had 3, they all would have been in. Great feet from 85 that time as Ford starting to roll here at the end of the first half. Using the legs once again and dips the shoulder. Leans forward and slides his way close to the first down marker to get to the Toronto 26-yard line. They'll spot him 3-4 yards shy.
And it's so critical that you have the disciplined pass rushing against Trey Ford. You got to stay in your assigned lanes. You've got to be aware of not getting at drastically different levels, basically, as pass rushers. Creating gaps through which he can escape.
Flags fly once again as Augustine makes the grab. He was running to the flats, but slowly in motion once again. Smith hits the line, full sprint this time. Kenny Lawler reaches up, and the gloves are back for Kenny Lawler. Has a gain of 15 yards. One of the game's most dangerous.
Yeah, you get the full elevation, full stretch here from Kenny Lawler. Going up to get this one, Lawler will surpass 6,000 career receiving yards in last week's outing.
Difficult catch, couldn't haul it in. It leaves 2nd and 10 from the Argos 20. Ford over the middle of the field, rifles one complete to DeAndre Smith. It's good for a first down, but now the challenge becomes 8 seconds remaining in this first half.
And decision time
Hamilton
certainly
called the timeout
for Scott Milanovich.
Take one shot and then try a field goal. I guess the question becomes, what's the one shot?
Yeah, what's your best play?
Interesting yard line too here, right, Dwayne? Because it's not, a 2-point play, per se.
I was gonna say.
It's in that awkward in-between spot. You got lots of end zone to play with Trey Ford. 5-point ball game. Hamilton started so slow, crawled their way back in. This is a big one. Empty it out for Ford. Looks to his right. Slant. Caught DeAndre Smith. Rolling down inside the 5. Stops shy of the goal line. 2 seconds remaining.
Gotta go. Jake Dolegala and the short yardage gang make their way out onto the field. And I'm sure that moment of panic on the sidelines for Scott Milanovich, where it's either score or get down.
Substitutions from the Argonauts here. No hesitation from Milanovich, to his credit. Sending out the big man, Jake Dolegala, in short yardage. Statement opportunity for the Argonauts defense as flags hit the air and Dolegala fights at the line of scrimmage.
The location of these flags screams too many men.
It's a touchdown for now, as the Tiger Cats have taken the lead on the final play.
Toronto had 13 players on the field. That penalties declined. Hamilton scored a touchdown.
Of the first half, so they nights of the last 3 months, but resilience of the team just trying to find answers. Certainly giving them belief they can have success down the stretch. The next challenge is facing Trey Ford, who will light it up for Kenny Lawler. Backpedals, makes the grab, and steps out of bounds. Tavares McFadden supplying the coverage. They got tangled up, but Lawler wins the battle as he usually does.
Yeah, Tavares McFadden looking a little frustrated, I think, feeling that he got pushed off. You're going to see McFadden, the corner, in coverage right here. Watch Lawler, little shove right around the top of the number 2.
Going into a relationship with Levi Mitchell as well before the injury, is now over the top. It dropped right into the bucket from Ford. It goes to Wheatball down the sideline. Tag on the penalty yardage as well.
This is an absolutely incredible throw. Perfect timing, perfect placement, perfect shot from Ford to Wheatfall. Just gets the defender Amos to settle briefly, but hits him in stride, dropping it in just over top. Is a halfback, Deshaun Amos. Going to get out there.
40. We'll wait to see the consistency as well as Ford tries to follow it up. Pressure coming, and he'll just outrun it right around the corner and gets the first down himself to the 14-yard line, a gain of 11.
But you see the faith that Trey Ford has in his own speed, his own ability to accelerate here. It looked like Darius Pickett might have an angle on him, but Ford outrunning that.
Trey Ford in his evening here at BMO Field in Toronto against the Argonauts. It began with a couple of puzzling throws, maybe because the conditions a little bit off kilter, and completing it to your defensive back, Reggie Stubblefield, isn't great, but then all of a sudden leans into one as the ball probably felt like it was 3 times its intended weight, and then hitting Kenny Lawler, then ripping it over the middle to DeAndre Smith as well. Get a couple of beautiful runs mixed in, dropping it in the bucket down the right sideline to Garrett Wheatfall, and Trey's cooking.
Yeah.
Now Ford with great starting field position, flips it to Myron Mitchell. Blockers out in front, and Mitchell stacked up. And Ford connects with Kenny Lawler, dives his way close to the 50.
Helping coach the Guelph Griffins in camp. They were at Concordia.
All those
starts with number 12.
Inside a minute remaining in the weather-delayed Week 12 showdown between the QEW rivals is high and outside. And Kenny Lawler against Darius Pickett. And they'll say Lawler got a foot down, picks up 6 yards on the play.
Trey Ford, no doubt hoping for a shot down the field, but essentially the check down to Lawler along the sideline.
Trying to get his receivers organized here. Tyson Middlemost onto the line of scrimmage at the top of your screen.
For safety, Bubba Bolden already about 25 yards deep.
Yeah, he was dropping out real quick as maybe too deep, left wide open in that dig spot was Carrick Wheatfall. Gain of 26 on that one.
Sort of maxing out what they could grab there in front of the DBs. And Toronto essentially taking a posture that don't let anything get behind you, but that sometimes leaves a lot of room in front of you.
Ford looks to his right and rips this one in between coverage. High as possible, give him an opportunity as Ford works the pocket. And will complete Keandre Smith as time expires, puts his head down into McFadden.